What's up, everybody? It's HipHopWhiteGuys again, coming at you with our first review. Nas, Life is Good. Nas being one of my favorite artists. I want to set this off.
One of our favorite artists.
I want to set this off. I was really anticipating this album from the first leak last year of Nasty. Just killed it. Nasty was grimy, is what I want to hear by Nas. And then the album kind of got pushed back, waited, and then the Don leaked. Phenomenal. I love the Don. I love Nasty, the Don.
Actually, the Don was the first thing I had heard. I hadn't heard Nasty prior to the Don, and the Don sold me. I thought it was incredible.
And we got a few leaks. The Locomotive, which is my favorite song,
featuring
took me back
on the hook.
It took me back to the 90s. Great song. Now, when I listened to the project through, like the first 4 songs, perfect. I mean, I was in that zone that this album's going to be phenomenal. And then the song Reach Out with Mary J. kind of lost me.
Good song.
The hook, I wasn't really feeling it. That piano loop's been used so many times. I just really couldn't get into it. Which, to backtrack a little bit, Accident Murderers, one of my favorite songs.
Featuring Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, who I'm not a big fan of, but he did his thing. He really held his own with Nas in that song.
Which surprised me, because like he said, I'm not a big fan. I have nothing against Rick Ross. I've just really not given him that much of a shot to really get into his catalog. But from what I expected and then what I heard, he actually did justice to the song.
Yeah, and which I want to kind of backtrack into those songs. The intro, which is produced by Justice League, which almost this whole album's produced by Salam Remy.
Before we get into that, before we get off Rick Ross, let me just interject with my Rick Ross real quick. Problem is, from what I've heard, and I'm pretty sure what everyone's heard from Rick Ross, we thought another fucking same shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And all I can say is this: Rick Ross, do some more shit like that. Quit doing all that bullshit, and we might check you out.
All right, but okay. Starting with No Introduction, the first song on the album,
phenomenal.
I thought it was phenomenal. Great, set the album off, right direction. Just put you in the right frame of mind to listen to the Nas album. The Locomotive song, which I mentioned, probably my favorite song on there. Really took me back to the 90s. Really no hook. Large Professor talking in the hook. Queen Story, very dope. Which it's dope because being into hip hop really deep at that time. You know, he talks about Stretch, who was with Pac when Pac got shot in the elevator in Quad Studio. He talks about being in his truck, getting dropped off by Stretch the night Stretch got murdered.
Right.
Now the third verse, Nas kills that third verse, but I don't like the fact that it just completely drops the drum track and it's just that piano loop. I wish there would have been a little bit of a drum track here and there. Maybe cut it out for half the verse or brought it in after like the first 4 bars. Accident Murders, which we touched on. Daughters. Now see, I really liked this song when I heard it. I have a daughter. I could relate to everything he's saying. I know he got blasted by some people saying that he wasn't speaking positively about his daughter. While I think the song was about his daughter, I think the song was for fathers and the things fathers go through, which I really related to. I love that song. In which Reach Out, which I touched on. Nas does his thing. When I buy a Nas album, I expect Nas to do his thing, which he did his thing on this whole album. Track 7, World's an Addiction, featuring Anthony Hamilton. It's really a minimized track. I mean, there's not a whole lot of instrumentation.
Any simpler and it would have been a cappella.
It's really stripped down, but Anthony Hamilton kills it. I'm a big Anthony Hamilton fan myself. Nas, especially the third verse, once again, where he's talking about the doctor operating, newly separated. Now, my big flaw is everything I've seen. I think everyone's big flaw from everything I've seen. Summer on Smash. Please do me a favor, Swiss Beats. You can keep producing.
Make beats.
Make beats. Your Swiss Beats.
Be married to Alicia Keys. Stop rapping.
Let that be what you're known for. Please do not touch the mic no more, because he is the total downfall in this song. I think all of us agree in that.
I call him Swiss cheese. He's got holes in him. My personal thing on that is, personally, for the past 5, 6, 7 years, I don't think you should produce. I don't. It's not produce all you want. I don't think rappers need to feel like they should go. If we don't get Swiss Beats on there, we got to get a hit on there with Swiss Beats. And I
think Swiss. Let me reiterate with this. I think Swiss Beats is good at what he does. I just don't think Nas does what he does.
I think he carbon copies all the hooks anymore, and I think they all sound similar and not that good. But that's just my opinion. You wouldn't understand. Now, you wouldn't understand. I think the album starts to take a new direction, picks back up. Nothing spectacular by Nas here to just blow you away, but it's Nas. It's Nas doing what he does.
I love the song. I know Sin loves the song.
Nothing groundbreaking lyrically, but
I love
the beat and the hook combination with the lyrics make it a great song.
It's just one that sticks out to me.
Backwind's a really good track, but it's a track I feel we've heard from Nas and other artists.
It's far back.
It's back to the old school, which I can appreciate it. He's talking about listening to Shan and Marley Marl coming up.
I think that as far as the song Backwind goes, and I told you this earlier, you basically just said it. I like Backwind. The only song I don't like is Summer on Smash, but like he said, I feel like every single Nas record has had that Backwind song on it, and maybe that's just Nas, but it's a good song. Nothing against the song, but
now see, this is definitely one of my favorite songs too, The Don, which I've touched on. Was currently, as when we were really expecting this album, was probably one of the very first leaks. I know Nasty was technically the first leak. The Don, I love the grimy hook. This track was produced by Heavy D before he passed away. He gave it to Salam Remy to give to Nas. I think Salam touched up some of the production, might have made a few minor changes. But yeah, army jacket swag, army jacket, green and black, square pocket with the top that snaps. I mean, that's Nas.
The only thing,
just grimy, taking it.
It took me a minute to get into it because the reggae hook is
Super
kind
Cat,
of repetitious.
Super Cat.
But if you listen to that track once or twice, you're like, it's okay, but this guy's, it's too much. Keep listening to it. I promise you, to grow on you. It's one of the dope tracks on there.
Now I know that all three of us can agree. One of our favorite songs on here. This is the next song. Is "Stay."
Yes,
probably my favorite song.
Which I know it's your favorite song, so I'm going to let you touch on it a little.
Top 3 for me.
I'm going to say the thing about this song is, it's a dope song. It's got a point, a meaning to it. Like, it's a story.
It's got a few different points.
He tells like 2 stories. Yeah. He's talking about relationships. Then he's talking about, and I'm not go listen to songs. I'm not going to tell you. But then he's talking about people. Right. Basically. But the thing is, and it's really weird because I'll go ahead and hit it real quick because he already mentioned it, but we didn't touch on it yet. My biggest disappointment with the album, other than Summer on Smash, was the lack of beats in parts of the CD. This is the only track that I heard that I don't give a fuck if it's got a beat in. That saxophone was amazing. I could listen to just the saxophone. I don't have to hear Nas even rap to it. But, I mean, the thing is he took a really dope sample, loop, had somebody play it, whatever. Kept it minimal. I mean, it's just that and like a fucking hi-hat.
But at the same time, it's one of those story raps from Nas that you come to expect, that everybody's come to love. It's one of his dope story raps.
Right.
The next track, Cherry Wine, which he did with Amy Winehouse, rest in peace.
I love that song.
Cherry Wine, in which when you hear that drum track, if it was just the beat by itself, you would think this song is going to go a different direction, and then she gave it this feel to it that made it what it was. I mean, it's almost like a salute to the high life, I guess, so to speak.
You flip the album over, you look at the track list, and you scroll down, and you're like, Nas featuring Amy Winehouse. Right. And automatically you're like, what the fuck is this?